Some people may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Out of all the scary animatronic stories out there, I would have to say the one about the Willy's Wonderland animatronic named Cammy the Chameleon has gotta be one of the creepiest there is. Cammy Chameleon was the first new character to be introduced in the Willy's Wonderland band, which is the animatronic band at Willy's Wonderland. From the beginning, Cammy Chameleon was quite a strange character, so much I actually refer to her as the chameleon in their shows. Yet beneath her odd and creepy persona, she was one of the most bizarre animatronics. Produced to the creative engineering at the time, yet towards the movement of any other characters, she would actually have an actual chameleon tongue. Less than 50 chameleons were produced, which meant not every diner had to be the same. The idea was for Cammy to appear for a few months in a particular location and later being removed and placed in another store. However, that didn't last long. Cammy Chameleon was designed to be a wacky chameleon. It was built to look like a member of the engineering team, only with chameleon-like features. Shortly after the show release, Cohen rejected the character because he said it was too uncanny for a children's audience and gave him a discomforting feeling. So overhauled by the board, so they decided to send the animatronic anyways. Eventually though, every restaurant she was placed at complained about her. Every single one. People thought it was creepy. Kids say she won't stop looking at them. And she even tried grabbing a child who was close to it. And so, but as I mentioned before, this was one of the most complicated animatronics they had ever built at the time. The company wanted to get some return on their investment, so they sporadically to bring the house tinker to see what's wrong, which was mechanical standpoint, which there was nothing. Although even the head of the company, he would say I've never been more frightened than animatronic in his life. Details as to why had never been released. They eventually tried to reskin it and change the curve around a bit, but nothing really ever worked except Cammy. Around the same time as around 1983, dozens of strange mishaps began to occur at it. The first of many was because of the strangulation of a tongue. Next was a few weeks earlier, another strangulation of her tongue. The tongue in her point was that she bit the child's frontal lobe, and the list just goes on. Aside from all these things occurring at Willy's Wonderland, there was no other connection until a detective realized these tragedies always seemed to happen at the locations which Cammy Chameleon was temporarily installed at. Then there were stories of children who claimed that they were trying to announce what was going to happen before tragedy struck. After rumors of all this stuff hit the company, in a panic, he called all the Cammy Chameleon animatronics to a wild and brought the corporate warehouse where they sat for just years. That was all of them except for one, the one which was installed at Willy's Wonderland that I used to work at. I'm not sure how we got left into a car, as the two corporate mix-up those things for months after they were taken back. In fact, nobody in my restaurant, including my boss, was even aware of the recall at all. However, we all knew that there was something weird about this animatronic. For example, one thing, a person who saw it, just that she would open her eyes really wide during the show and it would get stuck like that. Sometimes just staring at them with her huge open eyes directly at people and would just fix it on certain individuals in the audience. Then if they were powered down, she would still turn back on. And for the show it would freeze again while staring at them with his jaw open at the same time. Sad to know that people probably feel so comfortable they would just walk away or leave. I eventually told my boss we were losing business because of that. They took the in Cammy Chameleon, one of the main shows, Tumgir behind the back curtain in the back of the arcade area. Our game area was different than most Swedish Wonderland custom. It was divided at showroom pizza area, however, moving the animatronic back there definitely didn't stop disturbing the other patrons. I kid you not, one last week from the arcade, a child was crying, saying he looked behind the black sheet because the robot pointed at him. Something was totally unplugged every time. These stories really freaked me out, although I tried to tell myself they were just the kids' imaginations and to ignore it. That was until the incident happened. The one would change me and several others' minds forever. My nephew was actually there on the day it occurred. He was eating pizza with my sisters and a couple of neighbors' kids, watching the Willy's Wonderland show. When he got bored and decided to play in the game area to play some games. After half an hour, he stepped back into the showroom with a look on his face I've never seen him make before. One was of total shock. It just seems everything couldn't begin to understand. Concerned, I walked over him and asked him what was wrong. He just said, Cammy Chameleon, talk to me. Hairs raised the back of my neck as soon as he said this. But as scared as I'm much, I needed to find out more. He told me that it sounded like she was reporting the news or something. She mentioned a tragic incident at Willy's Wonderland and then gave a death for several people. My nephew was really trying to recover stuff, so when he told me that, I immediately took it seriously. I decided to walk with him over to the animatronic to make sure that she wasn't plugged in. I guess I was hoping she had somehow maybe heard it wrong. He stepped into the arcade room as I was about to follow. I saw Cammy Chameleon's tongue strangling him and kidnapping him into her jaw and biting his frontal lobe. And out of true fear, I called 911. My nephew wasn't so lucky after the bite Cammy Chameleon caused. But even through the terrifying thing, I couldn't get a signal from the phone. So like the other kids, I decided to get them all the heck out of here. All the while, Cammy Chameleon gazed at me through the concrete and smoke with her blood in her mouth, almost mocking me. After hearing about the incident, incorporated my location, and immediately returned the animatronic back to the warehouse, apologizing for not keeping us in the loop. Although there wasn't much that was mere apologies would do at that point. Since disassembled these animatronics, but there was a couple of them that were unaccounted for. I guess they were possibly sold to a collector who just kept out a disturbed fan who worked for a company. I've even heard rumors that there was a disturbing collector out there who was stationed by not this supposed cursed animatronics and try and create his own insane museum of them, which honestly scares me more than anything. I may have never known why this animatronic in particular was the cause of a true bite of a frontal lobe, or if they're truly left out there. But please, then tell them to get rid of it as soon as you can. My story shows that they are very truly dangerous. We should say with the animatronics creators decided to call it an abomination. They were not far off. I never know why she would bite my nephew's frontal lobe off, but I assume she was the culprit behind all this. And I'm next. I don't know how it happened, but you deserve to know this. Never meet or trust Cammy Chameleon.